Welcome back to my 100-day drawing challenge 2020. Today is day number 31 and the prompt is alpaca. So going into this drawing I wasn't sure what I was going to do. To be honest, I did a few sketches to try and plan out a kind of composition just to work out exactly where I was going to place the character. I knew I wanted to draw a character for this prompt because that's kind of where my strengths lie. I wasn't just going to draw an alpaca in any kind of capacity because I just didn't think it was going to turn out right. So I went with a character that was kind of themed around the alpaca prompt. It is kind of similar to last year's drawing. That wasn't particularly deliberate. I didn't want to do another redraw because I know I've been doing a lot of redraws lately of last year's drawings. I'm trying to make them a little bit unique. The biggest issue I had with last year's drawing was just that it was a little bit boring. There wasn't a lot going on. It wasn't very interesting. There was absolutely no background on last year's drawing, and I feel like there were too many colours as well. I think I just coloured the character in a lot of pastel colours, and I think I used one colour too many because it just didn't seem like there was any kind of thought that had gone into the colour palette. So this year those were the things that I wanted to change and clean up. I came up with a bit more of an interesting composition. So the character is sitting on a little block. I couldn't really think of anything else to have her sitting on. And similarly to last year, she's inspired by the alpacasso characters by Amuse. I have a couple of alpacassos and I think that they're really adorable and I wanted to theme a character after them, which is what I did last year. So I ended up doing a similar thing this year because I didn't really know how else to interpret this prompt. So she's wearing a little alpaca suit with the little cute face on the top, and I tried to make it fluffy. So I drew it kind of with a fluffy outline, and then when I was colouring it I decided to texture it a little bit with the markers and the way that I shaded it, and I actually think it turned out really cute. I used quite a lot of different markers ranging from like beige to soft sun to soft peach, I think was the other one. So I think peach is like the darkest colour that's in there. I did still use quite a few pastel colours, but I just reduced the colour palette a little bit from last year just because I thought it was one too many colours. So I stuck to overall mostly like that pale peachy colour and pastel pink, and then there's a little bit of blue as well. The one main thing that I don't like about this that I wish was a bit different is actually her skin tone. I kind of had an idea of what kind of skin tone I wanted to use for her that I thought would go really well with the other colours, but the markers just weren't blending properly, and I think I used too dark of a shading colour because I didn't really have a colour in between the colour I wanted to use for her skin and the colour I used to shade it. I wish I'd had like a mid-tone between those two colours because I feel like the shading looked too dark, and then I tried to blend it out and it didn't really blend out properly, so her skin ended up a kind of weird tone. So that's the one thing that I think I would change if I were drawing it again, but so I think I just need to bear in mind that those two markers in particular don't really blend together properly, and I think I need to use different colours. Overall I really like how this one turned out. I really like the colour palette. I love using pastel colours, so that was a lot of fun, and I think that the colours go together a lot better than the colours did last year. I think that the way I distributed the colour was a little bit nicer. It looks a little bit less haphazard. It actually looks like all the colours go together nicely, and I do think it fits the alpaca prompt. It isn't overall completely themed after alpacas. I didn't draw an actual alpaca, but I think it kind of fits the theme. I've started adding some sparkles to the background of my drawings again. I did this yesterday as well. I haven't done that for a while because I think I went a bit overboard with the sparkles last year. In this challenge, every single drawing had like hundreds of sparkles in the background, and I think it was a bit much. I think I was just trying to hide the fact that a lot of my work was a little bit sloppy last year. But this year I'm really focusing on actually trying to get these illustrations to look good. So I'm adding a couple little sparkles but just toning it down a little bit, and I actually think it's really cute. That's all for today. If you're interested, there's a link to the full challenge playlist on screen and in the description. Subscribe if you'd like to keep up with me completing this challenge, and I'll see you tomorrow for another prompt. Take care.